Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Hour of Healing. I am your weekly host, Joe Deborah. And friends, we have a powerful one today. We are talking about the topic elevated by defeat. Elevated by defeat. Friends, our guest is a very special friend, and you will find out why in a few minutes. He is in the person of Reverend Samuel Adom Inshira. He is a minister at Mountain Missions Ministries in Ghana, West Africa, where their headquarters is in Accra, which is the capital of Ghana. He is a proud father and a husband and a dear friend and a brother. Friends, when I say a brother and a friend, we have known each other for 23 years, and we have been friends for 21 of those 23 years. So when I say a brother, he indeed is a brother. He's a wonderful man of God. I personally call him the man of mysteries. He is a custodian of mysteries and principles. And I am so excited we get to have a conversation with him today on this powerful topic, elevated by defeat. So friends, without much ado, I'll welcome Reverend Adumun Shira so that we can get our topic started today. Reverend Sami, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joe. In fact, you've been doing amazing work, and I believe that you are making a lot of impact, not just to the people that are closer to you, but also to those of us that are here and the countless people that probably we are not privy to see them. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I'm humbled by those wonderful comments. Friends, we are talking, like I said, about elevated by defeat. That as you were talking, I was making some notes here, and you hit on a very important concept that I think in our day and age is really misconstrued. And that is the concept or the principle of choice. I think that one of the things that makes God God, and for that reason that makes human beings in the image of God, is the ability to choose. Because God wills, and he gave us the ability to will, to choose. But we live in a time and age where the issue of choice become so political, and it's very misconstrued. One of the things that I was sharing on one of our recent podcasts was the fact that we choose to be humble. We choose to fear God. We choose to live a life of victory rather than a life of failure. And that corresponds to what you are sharing with us. I'm giving this background, Reverend, because I want you to give us a few sentences or thoughts on the issue of choice and how important it is when it comes to what we are talking about in today's discussion. You've made mention of some very powerful thoughts that I want to bring up. You've talked about resilience. You've talked about perseverance. You've talked about the ability to overcome adversity. These, based on our conversation, are very vital for anyone who will enjoy great success in life. But there comes the issue of choice. Because if defeat is inevitable, then it's ever so important, Reverend, that we are able to make the right choice. So can you share a few thoughts on the issue of choice? And then I will come up with our next question.
Okay, so choice has been something that God virtually gave man. Choice.
Correct.
So we have every right to make our choices. Okay. But we do not have the right to determine the consequence of our choices. What it means is that we have the free will to do what we think they are good for us. We have the free will to move on a particular tangent or trajectory of life. We have the free will to allow or not allow certain things to come to us. And whatever choice
Mm,
that we make, the choice rather chooses for us our resource. So
mm, mm.
anyone that accept that I will have a particular resource must correspond the resource that he desire with the choices that he makes. Like we're having the
Wow.
podcast now. I believe that you have a particular love for the kind of audience that you reach out on a daily basis. And I believe that you had
Mm,
certain options virtually to rest a bit, virtually to do
true.
otherwise. Even the desire to even do this podcast is a choice. And I believe that the choice
Mm,
that you
mm,
made is determining the kind of things that you are doing, even with the people that you are bringing on board.
mm. Yeah, very
And
true.
I'm not sure
Very
you are
true.
just bringing anyone on board. I'm not sure you are treating any
Nope.
topic. In fact, I've been privileged enough to go through the teams that you've been bringing, and they are virtually thought provoking. In fact, these are life manual on its own. And that is the choice. So he
Mm,
decided to
thank you.
come out with this particular wonderful podcast. And because you brought it out,
Mm,
you are working towards it. I'm sure people will just be seeing you on a weekly basis. But there are a lot of things that goes through before we even have one session. Okay, so that's the choice that you
very
made. And
true.
the choice that you made, you are working towards it because the choice is determining the kind of results that you want to have. And I'm sure there are a
True.
lot of
True.
obstacles, there are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of
Mm,
misgivings. Probably even the reward that you are seeking for, probably you are not even having it now. But you made the choice
mm,
and you are going
mm,
by it because there was a vision that you saw it. There's an expectation, there's an end game. So all of us have choices. And
mm,
our
mm.
choices
Yes.
determines our actions or inactions. And our actions or
Wow.
inactions determines the kind of reward that comes to us. Some of the rewards are failures and defeat.
Wow. Wow.
And all the things that you are doing to overcome those challenges are the ones that will bring you your elevation. Because
Mm,
in the
mm,
midst of every defeat, there's also elevation. And some of the things that brings us defeat, even by the choices, some of the choices we don't even have idea about. Look at Jabez.
mm,
He never had idea as
mm.
to how the mother named him.
Wow.
He had no idea.
Wow.
But he had the choice. That my choice is that I will cry out
Wow.
unto God. Change the environment.
Mm,
Look at Joseph.
wow.
Joseph had a dream. If I were to be Joseph, I've had a dream and I've had a lot of troubles because of that dream. I have been sold.
Mm,
I have been lied upon. I have been thrown into the prison. But yet in the prison,
yeah.
the guy kept on dreaming. He kept on interpreting
Yes.
dreams. And in the defeat that the
Very
brothers
true.
gave him, they sold him, they threw him away, he was lied upon. In that same defeat and failures, he was elevated. So every form of failure and defeat that comes to us, there's also elevation. The man that will have elevation through the defeat and the difficulties is the man that does not forget his dream and his expectation. Dr. Joe, believe you me, every dream that we have is an idea that also leads to an expectation. If I were to be Joseph,
Yes.
I will not even keep on interpreting the dream. In Genesis 40, the
Nope.
verse 23, the Bible said, when he had interpreted the dream and told the cupbearer, when you go to Pharaoh, mention me. The Bible said he forgot. But yet still, the guy kept on dreaming. He kept on interpreting it. And when it came to the chapter 50 and the verse 20, he said something. He said, you thought it for evil. You meant it for evil. But God meant it for good. That through me, he will bring
Yes.
deliverance to many people. Anytime that a man
Mm,
face defeat, he not giving up brings his elevation. There are countless people that we can talk about. And those that are mostly celebrated and seen as icons that surpasses generations, they are the people that face defeat, but they persevere. Talk about the president and the
Wow.
founding fathers of our nations. I spoke about Abraham Lincoln.
Mm,
You can talk about all those great people. They were people that they did not just ascend to the places that we are celebrating them, but they were people that overcame
mm.
defeat and challenges. And believe in me,
Wow.
you are elevated higher when your struggle is very difficult. The difficult your
Wow.
pain and your failure, the higher your elevation. It is possible for you to dream. It is also possible for you to go to the prison. But then in God, it is also possible for you to move from the prison to be elevated to the prime minister.
Wow. Wow. Powerful, powerful. Dear listeners, we are so blessed. We are honored. We are having a conversation with Reverend Samuel Adumunshira. Friends, we are talking about the topic elevated by defeat. You know, he has shared so many powerful truths with us today. I want to echo for you some of the things that defeat does. And you know, Reverend, you mentioned that defeat teaches us that we can learn, we can relearn, we can
Mm,
unlearn, and we
be
can
strong.
become
Mm,
better. And I think that is very, very powerful because, you know, if you have that mindset, then your whole approach of life
sure,
changes.
sure,
Your whole perspective on where you want to be and where you are
sure.
changes. What I want our listeners to understand is nobody ends where they started.
Of course.
As long as you have hope, as long as you have
Mm,
expectation, your end will differ from where you
of
started.
course.
Now, the issue at hand or the conversation is how different will your end
Mm,
look from where you are starting. And so, with all the examples, the biblical examples and the real life examples, I will not even forget to mention our current US President Joe
mm,
Biden. He's been in politics for 50
sure.
years. He tried to be president over three separate
Mm,
times. And then, in his old
mm,
age, he eventually became the
mm,
president of the United States of
mm.
America. Defeat after defeat after
Defeat.
defeat. I remember I was watching a documentary when he first became president, how he used to take the train from Delaware to
Mm,
Washington as a young man. And look at where not giving
mm,
up, look at where not succumbing to
mm,
defeat, not surrendering to defeat over and
mm,
over and over
mm.
again has led
Sure.
him. So we are so thankful to Reverend Samuel for the powerful truths that he is sharing with us today. But Reverend, this is hour of healing, and so I keep bringing this
Mm,
up that we help people
of
heal.
course.
You and I both know that there are people, as we are talking right now, who have been
Mm,
defeated. They have faced defeat and they are staying
mm,
defeated. And so, how do we help such a person? What do we tell such a person? How do they cultivate this ability to be able to look beyond? Because the truth is, sometimes there are certain valleys we go
mm,
through that no matter how hard you try to look beyond, you don't see any light. So, for such a person, how do we help them heal? How do they build or cultivate that ability to be able to look beyond their present
okay,
circumstance?
Dr. Joe, that's a wonderful question. In fact, I love it when you brought the valley aspect in it. You know,
Mm,
for geography, in history, geography has two major things. Virtually, we have the valley and we have the mountain. And to the
mm,
one listening to us that virtually is down and do not know what to do, wherever you see a valley, it means that there's the presence of a mountain. And
mm,
one of the things that I have realized is that in the valley, that is when you are down, when you are defeated, you have only one option. You can't go down again. You can only go up.
mm.
If you're on the mountaintop, you have two options. It's either you go upper or you come down. So the one that is in defeat
Mm.
and you are seeing your life as a life in valley, you have one thing: rise up, rise up,
Mm.
rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, not with the help of people. And
Mm.
Dr. Joe,
Mm.
one of the things that keep a lot of people down is that sometimes they think that people should help them rise.
True.
No,
True.
the
Mm.
best person to help you beside God is yourself. So in the valley,
Mm.
you can no
Mm.
longer go down. The person listening to us, if you are down, you can no longer go down. You can only go up. In the valley, you can only go up. You can only go up. So whoever is listening to us, no matter the defeat, no matter the level that you've come, the first thing, rise up again by helping yourself. The things
Mm.
that brought you from the mountaintop, you knew them. Maybe you were in business, you had the hope to change your lifestyle, your family, your community, even your health, your social
Mm.
status, your relationship with God. You were on the mountain. Probably you've come down now. You can't go down further.
Mm.
Lift yourself up.
Mm.
The second thing, have hope.
Wow.
Have hope. The
Mm.
Bible says a lion that is dead can never be better off than the dog that is alive. It means
Wow.
that no matter what you've lost in life, no matter the
Mm.
obstacles that you've encountered, because you have life, you have hope. The hope that I'm telling you is not just saying that you are having hope. You shouldn't just have a feeling that there's hope. But as I said, make sure
Mm.
that your hope will give you a choice to rise again,
Wow.
to persevere,
Wow.
to persevere, to not give up. Dr. Joe rightly said, what's the difference between defeat and giving up or surrendering? The one that surrenders is the one that says nothing good can come out of me. The one that wants to
Mm.
rise up in defeat is the one that has expectation that with a little effort,
Yes.
something can come up. Dr. Joe, you see, the journey of life does not end. And one of the
Mm.
things that I've come to realize is that most of the time, the point of our defeat, the distance to our success is very small. So the one that is down now,
Mm. Mm.
look at all the time that you spent to come to the point that you got defeated. You don't have to turn back
Mm.
again. So the Bible said
Mm.
that in Philippians 3:13, that now I will not look at that which is behind me, but I'll look ahead.
Mm.
Let the expectation,
Wow.
let the promises that you have for your life, let the things that you determine to change, let the things that you decide to change, let those things be the thing that will encourage you. It is not enough to remain in
Wow.
defeat. But as I said,
Absolutely.
God holds men, and your choice can even hold you. Your expectation is too powerful for you to remain down. Don't give up.
Wow.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Then again, we can talk about encouraging ourselves.
Mm. Mm.
Man of God, I am of a firm belief that as men, when you need to cry, cry.
Yes.
When there is the need for you to feel lonely, do it. But after crying, dust yourself up. Encourage yourself.
Mm.
You see,
Mm.
there is a yearning in us. Every man has a yearning to be successful. That is why when we
Yes.
give birth, our kids will start having this tummy exercise. At a point, they will sit. At a point, they will crawl. At a point, they will start walking. Then they will run. God has built in us all the things that we need to become better persons and not to be stationed at one place.
Mm.
So encourage yourself
Wow.
and you overcome. You'll be elevated beyond the
Wow.
defeat.
Wow. Thank you so much, Reverend, for that powerful, powerful advice. And you said two main things that I want to pick up from what you said, to also add a few things on. One was the idea that sometimes people stay defeated because they are waiting for people
Mm.
to help them
Sure.
up. I can't tell you how true this is, because sometimes we forget that the road to success is often traveled
Sure.
alone. So when we end up in defeat, or for the one who is down at the very moment
Mm.
and feels as though they have no one to lift them up, with what Reverend is sharing with us today, the beauty and the good thing is that you have the ability to make the
Mm.
choice right now, right here, that I will not be defeated by this defeat that I'm
Sure.
facing.
Mm.
You have the ability to make the choice that I will choose to have hope,
Mm.
and hope that will bring me expectation.
Mm.
What Reverend is sharing with us, dear listeners, is so powerful, because we all go through various stages of
Mm.
defeat. But if you don't take care, you will let your defeat seem to you that is the end of everything.
Mm.
But there is a saying that he that is
Need
down
no.
need fear no
Sure.
fall. The fact that you are down, like Reverend said, you can't go down any much
Mm.
more. Yes, I know there is a colloquial language that says that you can sink even in the bottom. But friends, once you hit rock bottom, there's only one way you can
Mm.
go, and that is what Reverend is sharing with us today. So I think that is very, very powerful. And Reverend, I can't thank you enough for the various things that you sharing with us. You kept saying to rise up. And I hope our audience get this, that the ability to rise is a
Sure.
choice.
Mm.
In Isaiah, he says, arise and
For your
shine,
light.
for your light
Yes. Mm.
has come. The fact that there is a choice for you to rise means there is an avenue of escape
Sure.
for you to be able to take. And sometimes when you are down, yes, dear listener, believe us, we understand that sometimes you could be down and you will feel as though everything is against you. I believe it's a Ghanaian proverb that says that when you are drowning, everything in the sea becomes an enemy to you, because every branch that you will see in the river that you will hold on
We
to
let
will
go of you.
break,
Mm.
because they have also been in the water for so
Sure.
long.
Mm.
But the fact that you have a choice to rise, the fact that you can build an expectation, the fact that you can have hope, will or means that there is already an avenue of escape.
Mm.
And that, I think, Reverend, is so, so powerful. I want us to be able to start winding down, because I don't want us to go too far beyond time today. But I want you to shed some light on this question that I wrote down as you were um, giving your points to us. And I know we do talk often, and one thing that you had shared with me recently, and I thought was very, very powerful, was the fact that we should not be afraid to commit an unknown
Mm.
future to a known God.
Sure.
And I think it ties in here very well, in the sense that I think that sometimes the reason why we let defeat overcome us is because of the mystery of the
Mm.
unknown. It's because we don't know the future. So before we talk about the God who knows the future, now can you help our audience with this fear of the unknown, and how we can handle it, or how we can apply it in what we are talking about today, in being able to overcome defeat that comes in our life?
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Du. Uh, fear is an enemy to any man's success. Uh, fear is an enemy to uh, what one could become. Fear is the darkness that prevents us from seeing what we could have become. And as you rightly said, uh, to answer your question, I'll still go back to what we discussed earlier about our sources. And I am happy that
Mm,
you made mention
mm,
of the fact that we have an unknown future. And, you know, we need to entrust this unknown future to a helper, to a God.
mm, mm,
And believe in me, one of my fears in recent times even has to do with age.
wow.
You know, as the days pass by, we keep on growing. And
Mm,
sometimes we do not know what will become probably in the next year or in the next 5 years. But then there is a
mm,
source, and the source that we all depend on is the one that we know,
mm,
who is God. Then again, our source and the things that keeps us going is the purpose of our existence and the lives that we want to touch. Somebody may have started a business, and I'm sure the business had a vision, a mission, and certain things that the person had wanted to achieve. And with
mm,
a little bump or struggle or hindrance, it's as though there's defeat or failure. But then, in the
mm,
midst of those things, because we do not live in the present alone and in the yesterday, what we need to understand is that what we hold today determines what will come to us tomorrow. So anytime that I
mm,
see people that are fearful because of failure and the unknown, what I tell them is that what you have now is only enough for now and not
wow.
tomorrow.
Wow.
So whatever difficulty and failure and defeat that you've gone through, it is only enough for today and not tomorrow.
Mm,
So all that you got to do
wow.
is that the very things that you set forth to do, you don't just lose it. And you should always have the God factor. The God factor
Mm,
is a source and a river. The Bible says he's the source of the river that never runs dry. It means that in times that disappointment comes, sometimes even in ourselves, we can disappoint ourselves. But
yeah.
then the known God that is the helper, together with the things that we want to achieve, they should guide us. The failure of today is only enough for today and should not be carried to
Mm,
tomorrow.
mm,
Then again, those that
wow.
dwell on the defeat of today, they carry the power and the strength of tomorrow. There are a lot of people
Wow.
that have denied themselves of what they can achieve tomorrow because they carry the difficulties and the defeat of today to their tomorrow. So when they get to their tomorrow, even when opportunities come, they lose the strength to undertake it. Whatever defeat that we have today, we leave it today and assess that which we can do, the elevation that can come to us tomorrow.
Mm,
Because in tomorrow,
wow.
we can make our today better. Any time that we have a today, the tomorrow will become today. And the worries of today, when you leave it, you give strength to your tomorrow. And when your day comes, you have strength to be elevated.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Reverend Samuel, for the powerful, powerful section that, by the grace of God, you've had with us today. I will be turning it back to you for some closing remarks. And it's very interesting, it's very powerful, and it's very eye opening because I have this theory in life that when you have seen some success
Mm,
and when you have seen defeat, then you are able to weigh them
mm,
and actually know that it's always better to learn from your defeats rather than to learn from your
Of
success.
course.
Yes, it's good to learn when you are having success, but there are certain things that success can never teach you.
Sure.
You can only learn them during or through defeat.
Sure.
And it may sound strange, but this applies to even our parenting.
Mm.
When we try to shield our children
Mm.
from making
Sure.
mistakes or from going through various defeats, some parents will give their children everything and try to prevent as much lack as possible in their children. And I always say that I think that is an error, especially in our day and age, because there are certain principles, there are certain truths, there are certain foundations that if we don't build out of lack,
Mm.
we wouldn't know how to handle our
True.
success of tomorrow.
Mm.
And I think that is what Reverend is sharing with us today. So, Reverend, I want to thank you so much for joining us today all the way from Ghana, West Africa. Friends, this was Reverend Samuel Adomunshira. He's a friend, but more than that, he is a brother. He's been a very vital part of my life. Even till now, there are stories that if I tell you, you will be amazed. And so it's been my singular honor today to be able to have him on Hour of Healing season 2. So Reverend, elevated by defeat. By the grace of God, you've shared so much with us. What are the closing thoughts that you want our listeners to take from our recording today?
Thank you very much, Dr. Joe. Anyone listening to me, first of all, accept that there's always a very good seed in the defeat that comes to you. And life, man has been engineered to enjoy the benefit of a particular adventure. And
Mm,
for those that are celebrated most, they are remembered by the obstacles that they overcame.
true.
Most of them, we do not even remember their success, but their success is always attached to the defeat that came to them.
Mm,
No matter the area of your life that you're experiencing defeat or a failure, know that there are people that are waiting to celebrate you. There are people that are waiting to share in your story. There are people that are waiting to stand by the things that you overcame to make their lives better.
mm,
It is okay to be defeated. It is okay to do what? To fail. It is never okay to remain defeated. If you are defeated,
yes.
that's yourself. And in that defeat, there will be elevation. Jesus died, he was elevated. David was anointed as a king. After his anointing, he was sent back into the bush. Later, he was
Mm,
elevated.
mm,
No matter the circumstance, know that going beyond defeat can only bring success. And your success
mm.
will cause you to be celebrated and bring you great joy. Don't leave your expectation. Hold on to it and have hope in God and in yourself. God bless you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Reverend Samuel Adomunshira. Dear listeners, he has said it all. You know, there is not much that we can convey today based on our conversation today, but to help you understand that this is a clarion call for each and every one of us to confront the inevitability of setbacks. Setbacks will come, defeat will come. We need to make the decision, the choice. We need to have that expectation that will help us to be able to go through it. Friends, I cannot talk about everything that he has shared with us today, but I know that you have been blessed because I have been blessed. I want to leave you with this quote: don't be afraid to commit your unknown future to a known God. Because at the end of the day, it is this hope that you have that will bring about the ability, the resilience, the perseverance, the determination that will enable you to overcome the various defeats that come your way. God bless you so much for joining us today on this thought-provoking topic, Elevated by Defeat. We will see you same time next week as we bring you, as always, another life-changing and thought-provoking topic. God bless you and see you then. Bye-bye.